Okay, welcome back, Mr. Wafula. I want us now to talk about ODM. You have this unusual fierce loyalty to the Odingas, right from Jaramogi Oginga Odinga to Raila Odinga to ODM as a party. What do you like about Baba, that is Raila? And would you like to shed some light on your close association with the party and the party leader?
Yeah, you know, since independence, we have had several institutions that have hosted the agenda of change. You see, we had Mau Mau. After Mau Mau, we had KPU. After KPU, we had the Redemption Council by Ochuka. We had Mwakenya. We've had institutions that have hosted the agenda of change. And in recent years, I think every change effort you look at has been associated with Raila Odinga. So it is not actually a case of being loyal to a person, but it's a case of being loyal to a person who is loyal to an agenda.
Okay.
Yes. So for me, Raila has had his issues. He's not been perfect. He's made mistakes. Others, it is so annoying. But you see, when you have a church, if you don't bring down that church, scandalize the Pope. If you get the Pope and say slept with the maid, then the church collapses and you'll have no church.
That is true.
So as members of the ODM fraternity, we've had our challenges, but generally we remain a church that is founded on reforms. Okay? I would say, for example, that BBI, for me it was a crime. It was not a mistake. It was just a crime. Yeah. It was wrong.
Okay.
But you see, we can't speak against it because there is no internal consensus. As I said, you can't attack the Pope.
Yes, and
because then the church goes down and you'll be burning the same house. You'll be committing Samsonian crime, burning the house with yourself.
Okay.
But that's how all institutions operate. Generally, I can say that ODM has been all we have. I wish there was something better and cleaner and more focused and consistent without wavering. But this is all we've had. So in the absence of alternatives, we have to toe the line, guided by Raila Odinga. And Raila Odinga is not some ordinary guy. You know there's something you can die for. You know what Martin Luther King said, if you have nothing to die for, you're not worth living.
Yeah.
At least you can say that Raila Odinga can die for some cause.
Of course, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So that we share.
Okay.
He put up his neck to be hanged, he survived. When you go to train as a guerrilla like I did, you are told, shoot before you're shot. Kill before you're killed. One of the greatest things I've heard from Moi, I experienced under Moi is a guy could spare us. Because I wouldn't spare him if I got a chance. But the guy arrests us and gets us beaten up, we scream in our mother tongues, but he lets us go to prison and come back. I will not give him that chance. So I'm saying that at least we also had, I and him, have demonstrated capacity to die for a cause.
Of course, yeah.
That's a very special quality. As a fellow you can have as a companion in any journey. So I work with Raila because I have no other choice other than Raila Odinga.
Okay.
Yeah.
On the same, there's a time you actually declared yourself the Secretary General of ODM, and you had some sting at the Orange House. How was it?
You know, if you can have the courage to die for a cause, then you must have the courage also to lose a job for a cause. So what ODM was experiencing at the time was we had the many malls. Ruto had planted many malls in the party, led by Ababu and many other people. Actually, they had a bigger share of the party. So now we had been fighting to remove the malls and take control of the party. And Raila was a bit cautious. He didn't want to upset the Kalenjin, so he could not get Makere out of the way. Then, when we managed to forcefully get Magerere out of office, he still had sympathies from people like Anyang, who said he could still, he's still the ED till 10 days, then the NEC decides. So now, in my opinion, he was wrong. So I and many other people decided that Magerere should not come there, and we do not have a shortage of people who can run the office. So I called the media. Unfortunately, Raila was told that I'm having a press conference. Before I could hold it before he knows, but somebody told him. So Anyang called me. I didn't pick. He called 3 times. Then Mzee himself called. You know, that's the owner of the kiosk. So
you pick.
He called the first time, called the second. I told him, but do we pick the call? See, let's speak. So I picked the phone. Good morning, sir. The guy said, what's this I'm hearing? So it was just a small thing. My colleagues have asked me to be the team leader. You can't promote yourself. I said, sir, it's only 10 days. Then the NEC will decide, no, you can't do anything without asking me. So when I realized, I said, excuse me, sir, can I graduate from being an employee and talk to you as a comrade? Will you listen to me? He kept quiet and said, okay. Told me, you know what? We're sick and tired of you taking us from one crisis to another crisis. We had this crisis, I told you in Mombasa, that this problem is coming. We did nothing. We ended up with a crisis. Kasarani, I told you, Nyang Nyong and Ababu are doctoring the delegates. You're going to have a crisis in Kasarani. You didn't listen. What did we end up with? A crisis that we've never had before. So I gave him another one in Nakuru, and the political house on whatever institution. Told him, where we've reached on this matter, sir, I will not listen to you on this matter. So when I said I can't listen to him, he said, but I've told you don't do it. I didn't reply. Don't do it. Is that clear? He said, I've heard your views, sir. He said, okay. So that time I knew I was sacked. So I called the press. Tell them, you guys, the person you're seeing is the ED of this place. And everybody's aware. If you think I'm lying, give them calls. The new ED here. Anyway, you had it on TV, whatever it is here. So that was a move that was supposed to help the party at least be a bit clean of ideological molds.
You have been actually on the front line in purpose-driven demonstrations. And now it appears like our country, the talk is about demonstrations. What is your view over the same?
You see, resistance against wrong, resistance of any kind, even prayer. I'm not a Christian, but even those who pray for change is positive. So for me, what we have going on in Kenya is resistance against people who want to craft deep failure for this country and put future generations in trouble. So that is positive. Yeah.
It's positive, eh?
Yeah.
And Mr. Buke, you have walked through different administrations of this country.
Yeah.
You have walked through the Kenyatta administration, the Moi administration, the Kibaki administration, the Uhuru administration. Now we are actually working in the Ruto administration. And there are diverse and different ways of administration. What are your considered views over the radically different styles of leadership?
What?
There are radically different styles of leadership. Yeah.
You see, what pains me is there's something very special about the Kenyan history, whereby since independence, the Kenyan curse is that you will fight, craft, and define a dispensation you require. When you do so, even when you entrench it and call it independence, those who take over are those who are fighting that change. You get me?
Yes.
That's the Kenyan thing. You come to 1992, you fight for political change, you get multipartyism. Who is the president? Is President Moi. Then you go on, who is the leader of opposition? It's Mwai Kibaki's vice president. So you go on till you get some Moimas goes on making sense. Who becomes the president? It's Mwai Kibaki. Now come to 2013, same story. We cannot be able to put into office a person who comes from, whose ideological inspiration can be traced up to the Mau Mau era.
That is true.
So I would say that since independence, Kenya's problem is that we have not been able to get a reformer to occupy State House and give us a different test of things. So what we have are people who take power and try to relate with how do we deal with this new dispensation. So they dilute it, then pick up our momentum, we fight again, we have some change, then they take over again. So the logic for capturing power is basically one that puts the owners of money as head starters. And you realize that right now, there is nobody who has been elected in Kenya who has never filled a procurement form. All of them, you have to have filled a procurement form to be elected to any office in Kenya. Yeah, that's provable.
I think we have so much to talk about, Mr. Buke, but I think time is we can't really finish everything. But there is one thing that I really want to before we get to your business. Just last question on politics, and this country. We have had this culture of Harambes. I don't know your position on Harambes and what it stands for in the community, but I don't think it is a progressive way of doing things. But what is your position on Harambes and leaders using Harambes to front the development agenda?
You see, not so long ago, there's a church that is said to have been built by my grandfather called the Friends Church in Walanga. So they reached me to try and also help rebuild the church. And I told them that what I've done for that church is so much because it's operating in an environment where it can meet freely. It can do so. I don't have anything extra to give it. In short, you can't develop a country using Harambes. And broadly speaking, the capitalist system, the global system of exploitation, survives by having charitable establishments, Ford Foundation, NGOs, churches. It is supposed to give us hope that something can come out of the goodwill of the exploiter. So Harambes are a means by which the status quo, criminal status quo, is preserved. And one of the best bourgeois presidents we've had, Mwai Kibaki, actually was against them. He never did any Harambe, to the best of my understanding. And I think that's how the country should be ran.
Okay. Just on now to away from politics and away from today, you can be counted among the big investors in Bungoma, joining the big boys in the hospitality and the tourism industry and entertainment. That is. Are you in this industry by choice or chance? And what has the journey been like?
You see, it is one of the things I have not done in my life is help myself. It has been, first I thought I would not reach 40. I thought I was going to die at 7, 38. But I didn't die. So during that time, everything we got, we put in the struggle for change. I remember there's a time Cyrus Jirongo gave me about 2 million shillings. And that 2 million, I didn't buy anything because everything was about the struggle. So you put every resource. Even if you set up a business, that business is supposed to service the struggle.
Support that, yeah.
So now this went on and on. Then you come to realize that it is these animals who sell out, who come around to provide leadership. So now, as years went on, I realized also that those who participate in the freedom struggle get abandoned and they have nobody to lean on. So I decided, no, let me give my personal self 2 years. Now that I'm getting 60, let me do 2 years of strictly operating like a goat. I wake up, look for food, come back. Wake up, look for things that I can invest, work on my own personal projects. 2 years. Because of fearing old age and also trying to see whether I can have a place where people can be anchored.
Okay. Yes. So that is here you are.
Yeah. So I found myself choosing the hotel industry because I thought selling rooms is the cheapest business. It doesn't need a lot of accounting. Yeah. So that's how I end up now
in selling rooms.
Yeah, selling rooms. Then along the way, I also found myself selling changa down there, but I think it seems to be making sense. Yeah.
Looks like your divine spirit seems to follow you everywhere.
Yeah.
You refer to your hotel chain as my kiosks. When people all over the world want to look, even a kiosk, they want to make it look like a mall. Yeah. So what makes you put your business in a diminutive sense of reasoning?
You see, one, it is solidarity with kiosks. It is good for people to know that kiosks also give birth to money. So, and there's nothing wrong with being called a kiosk. So for me, it is a political solidarity with kiosks. The second point is that actually my hotels are small. I think there's a shortage of language maybe. Because you can't call Intercon a hotel and call this thing a hotel, please. There has to be some distinction. Yes. Yeah, there has to be some distinction. Now, for lack of English words, I think that if Hilton is a hotel, then the closest comparison you can get to sizing my setup is just a kiosk. The distance is so huge. You can't compare. Yeah. So it is my thinking that that captures my sense of distance between full hotel as defined in the dictionary and my own hotel. Yeah.
Okay. Yesterday, while on the social traffic and on the social streets, while passing there, I came across your writing. Yeah. While most entrepreneurs are out trying to squeeze the last coins from their clients and their customers, you have what we can call a conformist list of do's and don'ts of hotels and accommodations. Yes. And I saw a number that actually goes against the realm of what is thinking. Yes. Are those what you really believe, or are they informed by the business environment?
No. For me, one of the, actually, struggles are at all levels. Yes. If you are a person who believes in gender, the right of the lady to have a space, you live that. Yeah. In my home, I'm a follower of my sister. And every family function we have, I say the leader of our family is this one. She's the one who gives us direction and permission to do anything. So before anybody speaks, the chairman has to speak. This is living what I believe in. Now you come to the hotel industry, we have just stupidity, When you go to a house and the first rule you find on the wall is please clear by 10. You can't sleep properly. 10 o'clock, this thing is measured. Why do you measure sleep? So for me, it is primitive to direct me to get out at 10. Because first of all, that room you're staying in, out there, people rent it for 3,000 or 6,000 per month. You are getting 3,000 per day. So for me, it is a primitive appetite for wealth. For you to interrupt somebody who can just come to sleep for one day. Yeah. So for me, in my hotels, there are 4, extend up to Uganda, you arrive, whether it's in the morning, just make sure darkness doesn't find you. And when it finds you, it's not a big deal. You can say, is there a problem? Are you okay? Might you be sick? Because somebody can be sick and needs to rest a little more. Yes. So then you leave at the right time. Even if you don't make money that day for that room, 3,000 shillings can pay It's a monthly rent. You are
For
being given in
someone.
1.5 or 2 days.
Yes.
So for me, I think the hotel industry was founded by criminals, and those criminals should style up. We should all fight them so they can catch up with civilized hotels like my Zurich kiosks.
Okay.
Yeah.
So actually, maybe the most last or second last question. We are a culture-founded organization,
Yeah.
and we say like culture is not a museum piece, but it is an action. Looks like our culture is on the crossroad.
Yes.
What is your take about our culture?
Culture, you know, that word is complex.
Vast,
and
yeah.
it calls for even more educated people than me. But I'm alive, so I have my views also.
Yeah.
I think the culture we require,
Yeah.
and the culture that should emerge, the culture that is always suppressed, is a culture that enables us to connect with our real material world. This is our world. This is our. So we have to have a culture that makes us fit harmonious with the environment. Then that culture must also in harmony with the overall demands of expectations of society. Society needs to change to a certain type of society. Now, the culture that emerges has to respond to the pressures that we're experiencing and the challenges that we're going through. Okay? So, which means that elements of resistance are required. In my hotels, we try very hard to keep traditional food because it is very harmonious with us. The traditional salt, it's available. You know, bananas, you peel them, you dry them, make something which replaces salt, and I think it's better than salt.
Anytime.
So there, we are kind of resisting in the kitchen and also preserving foods. This is where we have the indigenous one and the modern one. You know, these GMOs are coming. So now I'm saying at the food level, there has to be a resistance to pressure from above. Now, we also come to things like now the furniture that we have here. Yeah, our furniture is respecting God's design. God's beauty is also beauty. And it's even better because you don't have to import a machine from China to fix it. So in a way, we're also economically resisting pressure from areas that we may not necessarily need. But generally, culture is transient. It can be preserved because it has to keep responding to emerging changes. Yeah.
Sawa.
Yeah.
I will want us to wind up. There are so much we have left because of time. And okay, at the risk of appearing intrusive, given your checked lifestyle and history, do you mind in maybe a minute or two be able to talk about your immediate family?
Takupigia. You know, we're so lucky because we've had an example laid by the icon, Nelson Mandela. You know, in life, you can't marry two things. That's my experience. If you marry the struggle, everything else must be guided by the needs of the struggle.
Yes.
If you decline the struggle, you go. So that was Mandela's life also. He had a wife. She couldn't fit in a struggle. He married another one to try and make sure that she has somebody winning Mandela after the first one. It didn't work. So he was given another wife, his friend's wife. And that's what took him to his grave. We have married the struggle. I have been married the struggle. In fact, when I left prison, I came back and my girlfriend, whom I left at the university, came. Told me, well, can we marry? She had another child. For us who have gone to prison, having a child is not a problem because if we were men outside, we would have married more, got more children. So I told her, no, you are wrong. I'm not correct material for marriage because the pressures of the struggle demand that I go elsewhere. So what I advise you to do is please go back to the father of your child and get married. Because me, this thing is still going on, the struggle. So that became a flop. Then I had another one, was my son was around, the mother. The mother was, he sat before the elders and agreed I would marry her. When I went to prison, she didn't even visit me. Came back, she was married to Baraza. You see? then I married another one. Then that other one, life was so hard. Every day in custody. She couldn't manage. So the family came together and there was a vote of no confidence. So I lost the wife. Then I got another one again. This one, poverty was a problem. She couldn't manage. So she ended up going. So I think that I can be defined as a person who has failed. I'm a failed family man. But my marriage with the struggle has been stable, it's consistent, and I think I'm okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sawa, sawa.
Yeah.
I think up to that point, we want to close there. Mr. Buke has been married to the struggle. His struggle, he has done it very well. You are still doing it.
Yeah.
And he's not about to tire. Thank you very much.
Let me just add something. You know, one of the things which inspired my entry in the hotel industry is that I could see I was going to finish life alone. Okay? Because marriages are not going to work. I've had many children. In fact, almost all my children are firstborns. And they stretch. I think that's why I beat Wamala Kijana. Wamala had 5 firstborns. I think my firstborns go slightly beyond there. So I realized I might end up in a situation where having a family won't work. So the better thing to do is imitate a Kalenjin I found, the owner of Kericho Till. He had no wife, he had a room in the hotel. So the waiters serve him tea, they fix his house, everything. Life is nice. And again, you have a family environment with your workers. So this is one of the reasons why I chose this industry. Because then it replaces family, where I have failed. And I'm determined to fail.
Oh, that is it. That is Wafula Buke for you. It has been such an insightful interview. We have actually learned so much about the man that we never knew. The man has been able to give us a glimpse into his life, a glimpse that so many people do not have. And I believe viewers will be actually richer with his story. And we believe that anyone who will be watching this video will be able to actually associate with his what he believes in and be able to appreciate the kind of man he is. Please stay tuned. Continue following us for other interviews. And if you have anybody that you think we can be able to interview, get to know his story, reach out to us, Culture Hub TV, and we shall be happy to host him. Thank you very much and have a good afternoon.